Then how can consciousness be recalled? How can the memory, how can you account for the memory? This is a debate put forth by Chudamata. Very strong debate which we discussed earlier. Then how can consciousness be recalled? Consciousness, meaning that you can recall the flower's object, and the consciousness of the subject. Say, how do you recall the subject? Because of the, no, how would you recall the object? Because of the subject. I saw this, which means that my consciousness of the subject saw this. And how do you recall this subject? The consciousness. If you don't accept self-cognizance, then you go into infinite regression. Right? Okay. So, Prasangika thus far rejects self-cognizant mind. subconscious mind. And if you don't accept subconscious mind, then how will you accept the recollections of memories? Okay, how would you account for the recollection of the memories? Well, that is the position of Prasanga. Well, a recollection comes about from a connection with another object that was experienced, like we call it the poison from a rat bite. This is a debate which is one of the very important debates happening in the monastic universities. This is, say, one of the very important thing which the monastic members they debate during, particularly during which year, the 10th year of the studies, and we are doing this for the day 2, day 2, day 3, day 2. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Okay, so the point is that say you followers of Bodhisattva Shantideva and say I am the opponent. I'm the Chidamantran. You are Prasangikas. So you don't accept subconscious mind. Right? And then not only you don't accept subconscious mind, you rejected this with the reasonings and with the citation from the course of the Buddha. Now I ask you this question. If you reject my subconscious mind, then how can you account for the memory? Right? So with this debate, so how do you remember the object? Because of the subject. How do you remember the subject? Then you go like this, infinite regression. So you cannot account for the memory. So Prasangika has to give the answer. Whereas I don't have this problem because Chidamatans accept the subconscious mind. Whereas those who reject subconscious mind, they should account for the memory. This is a big debate. Right? So now Prasangika, how they explain the memory. How they explain the memory, they give the analogy, a beautiful analogy. Right? Beautiful analogy. Okay. In Tibetan, it is known as Tempa. In Sanskrit, it should be Smriti.
Yes.
In English, remembrance,
Awareness.
remembrance, recollection, memory. Okay, let's say 2 words, right? Okay, this is a little language problem. The moment one concept is translated from one language, source language, to the target language, there is some problem. This I noticed since several years ago when I started to teach in English, and then with this here, particularly this, the Tempa in Tibetan. Tempa. In English, the only choice that we have is either, remembrance, recollection, or memory, right? So in all you use any of these 3 words, it doesn't really fit so well with Tempa or Smriti, right? Smriti or Tempa. Okay. In Tibetan, Tempa is a connotation like, okay, the say a valid thought for phenomena which occurred previously. It may not necessarily be how we use this in English. Memory, recollection, remembrance, right? So it is like saying, what did I say? A valid thought arising of a past event. Not necessarily recollection or memory. Okay, when we explain this trend of the debate, the procedure of the debate, you will come to realize, okay, this is not really the memory, right? But this word in English, thus far, I would say that these are the 3 choices, but they are not really the good choices. Okay, the point is, let's say that say that, what is, say you are the Prasangika and Chit Mantra, the argues with you with what? Argues with you, challenge you. When you rejected my acceptance of self-Buddhism mind, then I try to, challenge you with what?
How do you explain memory?
How do you explain memory? How do you account for the memory? Right? On what basis? If you don't believe in self-Buddhism mind, how do you account for the memory? Right? Because for the memory, as what Raviji said, that what? Do you remember the food that I ate? What food that I ate on 30th afternoon? He said, no, I don't remember. Why not? Because I do not see what you were eating then. I do not see that. I was not there with you then. Okay. So for the memory, that's the memory for Tamil. For the memory, remembrance, or the recollection of something to happen, is it necessary that you should have seen, you should have perceived the object before? If the answer is yes, then the problem is, what made you remember the object? I saw this. What made you remember the subject? Because of the next moment. You go like this, it goes infinite regression. Now how will you the followers of Prasangika, how will you answer this? How will they account for the recollection, this question? Okay, so the answer given is by giving an example. So the Bodhisattva gave a beautiful example. And again, Allah Tsongkhapa praised Bodhisattva, they were greatly praised him for this beautiful example. Right? So what he said was that there is one particular tiny animal, like a rat, chiba, like a rat, in say like a rat, like a tiny animal. So this animal, it bites you in the winter. Animal comes, this animal, small animal comes like a rat. It comes and bites you in the winter. Okay. And so what happened is that, do you feel the bite? Of course, it's very sharp, right? Very painful bite. So you have seen the bite, you have experienced the bite, right? Okay. Then, when was that? Which month? In the winter it happened. The early winter. Now the later half of the winter, you still remember the bite? You remember the bite? Yes. Okay. These animals, when they bite, this particular the animal, chiba, when he or she bites, not sure whether poison is injected or not. It's not sure. You're getting it? Okay. How do you know? When will you know that this poison was injected? When will you know this? In these? Huh?
Your body reacts.
No. It is, you will know this during the monsoon, next monsoon. During the next monsoon, when there's a thunderstorm and the rain. During that season, then you will feel the pain. You're getting it? Say, sometimes when you become age 50, 60, right? And suddenly you start having a severe pain in your legs, in the bones. Then you go to the doctor, and the doctor may ask you, did you have a fall when you were young? Right? When you were young, you fell, you fall, right? And they say you do not feel the injury. Because immune system, the bones, they're very, healthy. You don't feel pain, you don't feel anything, the problematic. And then 2-3 days is perfectly fine, right? When do you feel the effect? When it is 60, 50, 60, 70. So there you have already forgotten that you had a fall. You have forgotten them. Only when the doctor asks you, did you have a fall when you were young? Then you think about, yes. You're getting it? Okay. So in between, say, when you have a fall, you do not have that severe pain. When you have a fall, you don't have the pain, right? Do you remember the fall? Yes. Do you know that some bad thing happened to your knees? No. When do you come to know know that you have the injury in your knees? When you become age 60 or 70. Likewise, the bite of this animal, the cheetah or the rat, bite in the winter, you remember the bite. You don't have any clue of the poison. Right? And then, if there's a poison, when will you come to know? Next monsoon season. Monsoon. Because this is dependent on these factors, then the poison gets activated within the body. But these factors, this is very strange. Right? For example, say how the moon moves, that affects the epilepsy. Right? Most of the epileptic seizures corresponds to the full moon, new moon, most of them. Right? This is such a correlation. This is the dependent origination. Right? Okay, likewise, the bite happens, and meanwhile, till the next monsoon, do you still remember the bite? Hey, you remember the bite or not bite? Yes, you remember the bite. It's obvious, it was so painful, right? You remember the bite. Do you remember that the poison was injected in your body? No clue. When will you come to know? Next monsoon. How do you know? You start paining it. Injury, meaning the sore already healed. It's perfectly alright, but you start feeling pain. Then, okay, that time when the rat bit me, it also injected the poison in my body. You getting it? Okay, so you did not really experience it before. Experience the poison, injection of the poison before. You did not experience it, but you could still notice, have the thought, oh, the poison was injected earlier time. That thought can validly come to you, although you did not experience it before. So therefore, Bodhisattva Shantideva is saying that in order to have the memory of something, in order to have the thought of a phenomenon which happened earlier, it is not necessary that you should have seen that object before. It's not necessary that you have to have experience of the object before, right? So for example, to have not really recollection, to have the thought that, oh yes, the rat injected the poison in my body that time during the bite in the winter, right? In order to have this thought, it is not necessary that you should have experienced the poison being injected during the winter, right? So therefore, for the memory is just a thought process. Thought, okay, that happened. Okay, yes, that happened, right? A thought process which would account or which would apprehend a past event, happening of a past event. A thought process which apprehends the happening, of a event in the past. That is that mind. In order to have that mind, it is not necessary that you should have experienced an object before, like the poison being injected by the rat during the winter time. So tell me, during the winter time, during the monsoon time, what thoughts came to you? Two thoughts can come to you. One is, oh, the rat bit me. One thought. Another thought, the rat injected poison in my body. Two. You agree with me? Of the two, right? What preceded the knowledge of the object before the experience?
Poison.
The bite or the injection of the poison?
Right.
The bite, not the poison, right? Okay. But the poison also. Oh yeah, that the rat bit me in the winter. That thought come to you. Oh, not only it bit me, it injected me with the poison. That second thought also comes to you. For the second thought, the previous experience of that previously did not happen. But But the thought that, yes, it also injected the poison, that can come. Likewise, in order to say, for example, how do you know that how do you know that this morning, the first session, you saw the flower? How do you know this? How do you know this? Right? Oh, because I've seen that. And how do you know that you've seen that? The mind. How do you know this? Bodhisattva Shantideva is saying that it is not necessary that there should be mind, we seize this. It's not necessary that there should be mind, we seize this. You recollect this one, automatically this will be recollected. Right? You recollect the flower, having seen the flower because of this mind. This mind is recollected because of this flower. Right? There's a mutuality of dependence. Mutuality of dependence in the recollection. It is not necessary that you have to keep going with next mind, not necessary. For example, when you say, yes, I saw the flower this morning. You say, I saw the flower this morning. The flower and I, these two are closely connected automatically. These two are connected. Because recollection of the flower, you also remember the subject. Subject object. Because recollecting the object, automatic subject is recollected. It is not necessary that there should be another mind to see the subject. Right? This is what Prasanga answers. Okay. Yes, JC?
Is the second recollection, second statement, right? Which is like an inference that rat has really bitten.
Yes.
The poison is
Injected.
That is more of a knowledge.
So this is, say, I said earlier, so this is not, I would say that English, in Tibetan, what is that? Tempa. Right? Perfectly Tempa. In Sanskrit Smriti, it works perfectly. The moment we translate it into English, we don't find a good word. The closest is memory, but it's not a memory. It's more like an inference. I would say it's more like an inference. It's a knowledge.
And that inference, depends on the knowledge you have learned in this lifetime. That okay, if a rat bites and it pains in the next season, it might be a poison.
It not might be, it was. It is.
Yeah. So that knowledge I infer in this lifetime. It doesn't come from mind. It comes from experience and knowledge.
No. So the point is, okay, this is, no doubt, I would say in English, this is not a memory. But the Tibetan equivalence, the Tibetan word for that is Tempa.
This is inference. What is it?
So I would say this is more like inference. More like inference, yet, oh yes, it happened. You can rightly confidently say that, yes, the poison was injected in me by the rat. Right? So this thought coming in you of the past event, for that thought of the past event to arise, it is not necessary that you should have experienced that past event that time. It is not necessary. This is a point. Okay, right? So likewise, it's saying it's not necessary to remember the flower. How do you remember the flower that you have seen the flower this morning? Because I could remember, my eye consciousness saw that. How do you remember your eye consciousness? Because I remember the flower, right? So, by remembering the flower, object and subject, these two are mutually dependent. Object makes sense only if there is a subject. Object makes sense only if there is a subject. Because recollection of the object, recollection of the subject automatically happens. You getting it? So for example, if I say that, okay, this is my rosary. I pick up my rosary. Along with the rosary, if you ask me how many beads are there, earlier there used to be 108. Now I'm not too sure because it breaks. Right? I'm not too sure. Maybe it is 107. No matter what, even if I don't know how many beads are there, okay, say this is my rosary, I take it. Then someone asks me, how many beads are there? Is there any clue that you will know the yes? As long as the rosary is there with me, the number of the beads is also there with me. It's a matter for me to count it. right? So I have every clue that it has whatever number, 107 or 106 or whatever, I can see. Likewise, the point is that in order to have a thought of the past event, it is not necessary that you should have experienced that past event before. You getting it? Okay. So now, to summarize this, let's say the rat bite is analogous to you haven't seen the object. You haven't seen the object before. And injection of poison was synonymous to, right? Synonymous to what? Synonymous to the, what do you call it? The experience of the subject, not the object. Red bite is analogous to the experience of the object. The poison, injection of poison is analogous to the experience of the subject, right? So, in winter, the red bite experience, you experience the red bite, but you do not experience the injection of the poison. Likewise, when you see the flower, right, you apprehended the flower, you did not apprehend the subject. Later on, when you remember, oh, yes, in the monsoon, when there's a pain, oh, the rat, you could recall the rat bite, and you could also have a thought, the poison was injected. Nobody told you the poison was injected, but this thought validly comes to you that the poison was injected. So these things happen not at the time of the bite. These two things happen, the memory of the bite and the what do you call it? The thought of the bite and the thought of the injection of the poison. You know, these two thoughts do not happen at the time of the bite. At the time of bite, only one happened. That is the thought of the bite, not the injection of the poison. But monsoon time, then the two thoughts come. One is the bite, the thought of the bite, and the thought of the injection, poison. Both come, but these two are not experienced during the bite. But the thought of these two can come. They come at the time of the monsoon. Likewise, say when you see the flower in the morning, you do not see your subject, right? So object was seen, subject was not seen in the morning. Afternoon, when you remember the object, the object, then the thought of the subject also comes. So thought of the object and subject, these two come together later, right? This thought of the object, what made you have the thought of the object? Because of the subject having seen the object. What made you have the thought of the subject? Because of seeing the object, automatically subject is retreat. Subject, object, these two are mutually independent, right? Okay, this is how the answer is given. In other words, in order to have the recollection of something, in order to have the thought of something, it is not necessary to have self-conscious mind. It is not necessary that you have to go into the infinite regression. It is not necessary. That is another choice, right? Okay. 23. Let us read this again. Suppose you insist, but if a self-conscious mind does not exist, then how can consciousness be recalled? So this, for the time being, there's no choice. I don't use the word to record. When a recollection comes about from a connection with another object, means object and the subject. When the object is remembered, when the object comes to a thought, subject automatically comes to us. Recollection comes about from a connection with another object that was experienced, right? Like recalling the poison from a red bite. Okay. 24. And suppose you persist, but it can illuminate itself, because when endowed with other conditions, one can see others' minds. Okay. Okay. Same with practice, with the samadhi practice. with the samadhi practice, okay, at the moment, can you see others' mind? You cannot read others' mind, right? You cannot read others' mind. But with the samadhi practice, with a very deep samadhi practice, then you can read others' minds. You're getting it? Okay. In fact, the Professor Paul Ekman, how many of you heard about him? Professor Paul Ekman. Quite popular, very popular. Professor Paul Ekman. In fact, he is considered as a pioneer in reading the micro-facial expressions. From the micro-facial expressions, he could see what is going on in your mind. Right? So once he told me, I told him that, I just told him, I was with him, I was in his house for like 5 days for editing a book. And then I asked him that when people come to know that you read the microfacial expressions, don't they feel uncomfortable? He said, yes, they feel very uncomfortable. Right? They said, hey, please don't look at me. Okay. Right? Okay. So the point is that with the training samadhi, you can read others' minds. And so, if you can read others' minds, how not you can read your own mind? Right? If you can read others' minds, how come that you cannot read your own minds? Others' minds far away, your mind is very near one. Why don't you see this? You can accept Holiness mind. Why not? This is argument. Okay, it says transform. And suppose you persist, but it can illuminate itself because when endowed with other conditions like samadhi and so forth, one can see others' distant minds. Right? You can even see the minds, read the minds of other people in America, in Jordan, in Nigeria, in Japan. Right? You can read the minds of other people. Okay, if that happens, why cannot see your own mind? It's so near yourself. It's always with you. So therefore self-goodness is possible. Amazing, right? Okay, let's see. Well, Prasanga's answer. Well, by means of applying magic eye lotion, a buried treasure vase is seen, while the eye lotion itself is not seen. Okay, say in those days, I don't know today whether there is such things or not. There's some chemicals, consecrated chemicals, you apply this on your eyes, and with this, then you can see the treasure underneath the ground. You can see the treasures. You can see the treasure by the power of this lotion, but you cannot see the lotion itself. It's very near. Treasures, far away from you. The eye lotion is very near to you, but you cannot see the eye lotion. You can see the treasures. So therefore, it is not necessary. Simply because you can see far away mind, it is not necessary that you should see your own mind. It's not necessary. Right? Okay. 25. Those which are seen, heard, and known are not to be negated. Here instead, the conception of true existence, which is the cause of suffering, is to be rejected. Okay, now Prasanga is making a very important summary, by saying that finally, Chittamatras, what you are trying to reject is what? There's no external objects, there's no external this, there's no external this. No, this is not the point. Right? Finally, what's the purpose of the philosophy? Tell me. What's the purpose of the philosophy? Hey. What's the purpose of philosophy? Huh?
To get maximum happiness.
To get maximum happiness, and Shantideva?
Come out of suffering.
To come out of all your suffering. To come out of all the suffering and to have the maximum happiness. This is the purpose. Right? If you want the maximum happiness and get rid of all the miseries, you have to cleanse the mind. Right? This, all the Buddhist schools agree. If you cleanse the mind, you should apply the correct remedy. What's the correct remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. Right? Correct remedy is wisdom of emptiness. Just focus on cultivating the wisdom of emptiness. Don't beat about the bush saying that there's no external reality and so forth. Right? So the Buddha does not reject. There's no point in rejecting the 5 central objects, like the external physical form, external sound, right? Buddha did not reject the 5 the external objects. What the Buddha rejected is objectively existent phenomena, not the external objects. So what the Chittavada you are trying to object is external objects. There's no point in rejecting it. What you should reject is, you have to reject the objectively existent phenomena. Because believing in the objectively existent phenomena is what? Is the one which obscures your mind. and thus stop you from achieving the enlightenment. Okay, 25. Those which are seen, heard, or known are not to be negated. External visual objects to be seen, external sound to be heard, and external objects to be known, they are not to be negated. Here instead, the conception of true existence, truly existent phenomena is to be negated, which is the cause of suffering is to be rejected. Right? Okay. Now tell me, if you are Prasangika, and if I am Chidamatra, then you tell me that finally what is to be negated is the truly existent phenomena is negated. Not what you heard, what you hear, what you see, these things are not to be negated. This is what you tell me. Now my argument against you. This is so important, my argument against you. Okay, fine. Fine. But what's the problem? Say, the mind exists truly. And if I believe that mind exists truly, in what way mind exists objectively, in what way it stops me from achieving nirvana, tell me. Anyone?
Afflictions arise from.
How does affliction arise to my own mind?
Maybe then we won't believe in causes and conditions.
Why not?
If the mind is existing truly.
Yes, mind exists truly, yes. What's the problem? Hey, Prasangas.
Some self-grasping if the mind is existing truly.
Grasping to the self exists.
The mind.
How?
You can't change it.
The mind exists, right? Right? The flower exists, right? Flower exists not exist for you. Flower exists not exist.
It's not your
Or there's a flower, grasping exists. If you know that, if you think that there's a flower there, grasping exists, so is it wrong? Is it wrong? To say that, oh, there's a flower there, it's wrong?
Cause of suffering.
But because of that, there's a flower there, which person should be suffering all the time. Because person who believes in external objects.
Then,
right?
If the mind is truly existent, then you won't believe that the mind is changing, moving.
Yes, of course, why not? Mind is changing. Mind is impermanent, all composite things are impermanent, I also believe it.
So because attachment would be more for the attachment would be more for Chidamantras.
How?
Because they believe, the strong belief of a truly existing object.
What's wrong? The mind truly exists. So if you think that the mind exists truly, what's wrong with it?
It cannot be transformed.
Huh?
Dependent origination.
No, the mind, the self-grasping ignorance causes reification.
No. Seeing the self as objective real, it is not self-grasping ignorance. You are saying this proof that it is self-grasping ignorance.
Is it like if you think that it's existing truly, then you won't believe in dependent origination?
Why not?
Because you.
Okay.
Does truly existent mean independently existent?
Yeah.
Okay, truly existent means independent existence, yes.
Mind exists with respect to its body and it's not independent.
There's a very different word of Prasangika, not the illusion Prasangika. Okay, this is so important. You're getting it? The point is, from what we are studying, after that, maybe now we are close to that, we're close there, when we study the non-Buddhist systems, so there, how the self is posited by the non-Buddhist systems, we reject those, right? So there, how we are doing now, seems like, okay, the Buddha said it, so therefore this is very important, this is how we're going, this should not be approached. Our approach should be that it should make sense. If it doesn't make sense, just see if you can learn more to make it sense to you. This is so important. Okay, what's the problem? If I see the self to be objectively real, the mind to be objectively real, what's the problem? In what way I will not be able to eliminate the self-grasping theories? This is a very serious question. Ondila, yes?
If something is objectively real,
Yes.
it is independent of anything else,
Yes.
then it is permanent.
It
Cannot changes.
Cannot change.
it does not change. So
And
So afflictions, everything will remain.
Right, that's-
So we get
afflictions, everything will remain. How?
the karmic influence, afflictions and
So what I would say,
will remain. They cannot be removed.
what I would say, the mind exists objectively, but the mind is dependent on other factors. So your job is to prove that the mind, if it is objectively real, it should be independent. You have to prove that to me first. Okay, this is so important. Tell me. Okay, just tell me. This is so important. If you cannot solve this problem, then the appreciation to appreciate the Buddha is going to be much less. Appreciation of Buddha, right? So, in fact, in those days, the Arya Nagarjuna's time, some incredibly brilliant non-Buddhist teachers, because of the debates, they turned towards Buddhism. Because turning towards Buddhism, they said that I'm not biased towards the Buddha. I'm just seeing the Buddha and the other teachers and their teachings. The more I read the other 10 systems, the more respect I grow towards the Buddha. This is what they wrote, right? Now in our case, right, it may not be the case. So what we should be doing is that we should gain conviction that what the Buddha said is true, not because he's a Buddha, right? What he said is true, therefore he is Buddha. This is how we should go, right? Not that he's a Buddha, so therefore what he said should be correct. Not like this. What he says is correct is amazing, so therefore what he is a brilliant teacher, a brilliant somebody who has, say, the Buddha or enlightened, whatever, right? Okay, the point I'm going to share. Yes.
the mind is existing by itself independently. So it cognizes itself.
Yes.
So it,
I will say yes.
So it knows itself.
Yes.
So it grasps itself.
Yes.
So it has self-grasping.
It's not self-grasping.
It grasps itself. It consistently,
Grasping, what do you mean by grasp?
it perceives itself.
Okay, then you're in a problem. It's not only you, also in a problem. Even the Buddha perceives this mind. Buddha perceives all
But
phenomena.
this mind is
So the Buddha
permanent.
grasps.
So this mind is permanent. And it knows.
No, I did not say that mind is permanent. I said mind is objectively real. Mind is truly existent.
But truly existing has to be, it will persist, no?
Yes, of course, this is you also. You would also have to accept this. Because Prasanga is to say that mind, this morning, the morning session, the first, the prayer session, morning, at 5:45. So there we done impermanence, there are three kinds, right? One, continuum, which will last forever, like our mind. So this will last forever. It's not just how the Chittamantras accept, it's also what the Prasangas have to accept. Right? So therefore even the Buddha sees the mind as eternally lasting. Okay, now they said, this is so important. This is so important. Tell me, say, truly existent has a connotation of objective existence. So don't forget it. Are you ready? Now I can see that you are more alert. Wow. We are challenged. Now he might be giving some answers to us. Okay, I see that there's a glow in your eyes. Amazing. Okay, listen. True existence has a connotation of objective existence. What do you mean by objective existence? The moment the belief in objective existence happens, you are in misery. Right? The moment the belief in objective existence is there, you are in misery. Why? The moment you have a belief in objective existence, you lost the freedom. How you lost the freedom? Oh, by the way, do you agree with me that the loss of the freedom is the greatest misery? Do you agree with me or not?
Yes.
Okay, I won't go to the extent of saying greatest, I would say loss of the freedom is misery.
Yes.
Agree with me or not?
Yes.
Hey, agree or not?
Yes.
Wow, I suppose smiling. You're very good. Loss of freedom is a misery. The moment you see things as objectively real, loss of freedom starts. How? In the dream. Right? In Rahim's dream. Dream goes chasing Rahim, chasing you. Not just Rahim chasing you. Dream goes chasing you. Right? Okay. Dream goes chasing you. This dream goes chasing you. There's so much fear in you. Why do you have the fear? Because this dream ghost is coming to harm me. What made you believe in it? It is a dream ghost. It cannot harm you. What made you believe that it will harm you? It's a real ghost there. What do you mean real ghost? It's not my mental creation. It's objectively real there. The moment you see the object as objectively real, right? Then you have to run away from it, or you're pulled by the object. You run away from the object. Right? Pull or push happens. Pull or push happens. The moment you see the object as objectively real, right? And then say finally the ghost leaves you. And then you come to your mother, a mother sees that you are so much anxiety, so much fear in you, the mother then gives you a cheesecake to you, right? And you enjoy it. You like it? Yes. You like it. You like what? You like the mother's cheesecake in the dream. And you just like what? The dream goes chasing you. Okay. And then say your friend comes and your friend tells a very boring story, right? And you are very bored. It's just neutral feeling, no anger, no attachment, it's a neutral. In the dream. How many different emotions arose in your dream? 3 emotions. One is fear, one is attachment, one is neutral. 3 things. You getting it? Okay. Tell me, what is that thing which is common to all the 3 emotions?
Seeing dream as real.
Seeing the dream as real. This is the common thing. Is this valid or this is ignorant? This is ignorant. You wake up. In the dream you are affected by the dream ghost, you are affected by the cheesecake, you are affected by the person who told you a boring story. The moment you wake up, are you affected by any of these 3 things? You are not affected. Why you are not affected? Because you realize that none of these 3 exists from the object, they were all coming from our mind. You getting it? The moment you see that it's coming from our mind, you are not affected. You are not affected. The moment you see that it is coming from the object, you are affected. You are affected means that object decides. You are going to be bored, you are going to be happy, you are going to be unhappy, the object decides. Which means that you are affected. You are affected, the object decides. If the object decides, you don't have the freedom. Yes? If you don't have the freedom, there's a loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery. Misery is no nirvana. Right? So as long as you see things as objectively real, involuntary pull and push happens. As long as perception of objective existence, self-grasping ignorance, meaning seeing this object real is there, involuntary pull and push happens. This involuntary pull and push is the loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery. Misery is the opposite of enlightenment, nirvana. Right? This is so important, so important. And then when we get a glimpse of emptiness, this can be taken one step further. The moment we see, for example, one object there, right? You might, this person, let's say, okay, I see the one very freely staying, right? And I thought that, okay, nobody is coming here, I'm very free, I'm so happy. And then suddenly there's appearance, some appearance comes to you. Then what happens? My mind will get out of this, right? Which means that my mind becomes stiff, is trapped by this perception, is trapped. What does your mind want to do? My mind wants to relax. Now it cannot relax because it's trapped by the perception. Trapped perception is loss of freedom. You loss of freedom, you cannot freely stay. What is this? Right? Your mind is trapped. Loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is? Loss of freedom is misery. You're getting it? Misery is samsara. So, whereas if there's nothing really there from the object, you know that nothing is from the object, nothing will trap you. Right? You're free. This is a total freedom. This is so precious. So precious. Okay. Okay. 25. Therefore, those which are seen, visually seen, external visual objects, external sounds, what you heard, external objects to be known, they are not to be negated. Here instead the conception, what is to be negated is the conception of true existence, objective existence, including objective existence of the mind, true existence of the mind. That's the cause of suffering, is to be rejected. 26. Okay, 26, we need a little bit of reconsideration of the second line translation. Okay, I will give you the thing. Illusion of an external object is not separate from the mind. Despite being inseparable, it is still impermanent. Okay, second line, change it to nor is it conceptualized as inseparable. Okay, second line, just delete this and freely delete the second line because this is my translation. Right? Second line, just delete the second line which reads, despite being inseparable, it is still impermanent. This line delete. Delete. Or if you don't want to delete it, say just mark the word round mark. And then you give the other translation, the choice translation. Okay, the translation that I will suggest you is, nor is it conceptualized as inseparable. Nor is it conceptualized as inseparable. Okay, this you must learn, right? This you must learn, this is interesting. Okay, tell me, what's the self? What's the self? What's the person? What's the self? What's the self? What do you mean? Who are you? Who are you? What is that person? This question, right? So what you have is, you have the body and mind, the five aggregates. You have the five aggregates. The five aggregates, are they you? They're not you. Okay. Five aggregates are not you. You are not with the, one with the, you are not identified as the five aggregates. You are not one with the five aggregates. Remove the aggregates. Is there a self different from the aggregates? No, it's not one with the aggregates, no different from the aggregates. So if I have two things, let's say, if I have two things, either they should be one or they should be different. Yes? It cannot be that they are not one, they are not different, still they are two things. It makes no sense. Right? So therefore, the self and the five aggregates, what's the relationship? One or different? One, there's a problem. Different, there's a problem. Right? Okay. So some of the philosophers, they speak about inexpressible self. Self which cannot be expressed as one with the parts, nor the self can be expressed as different from the parts. This is the concept of the inexpressible self. Now Chittamantras, they are saying that, okay, thus far, you have rejected my position that is the object, the flower, that the object and the mind, these two are inseparable. Earlier they said that these were inseparable. You have rejected this. So therefore they said, okay, it's not inseparable. Are they separable? They are not separable. Are they inseparable? They are not inseparable. This is known as inexpressible. Inexpressible nature, right? This is not the real philosophy. They are pushed to accept that. They are pushed. Philosophically, they are pushed to accept that. Okay, the two things. Objects we see as external. They say that there is no external phenomena. So what are these objects? Are these objects separable from the mind? They said no. If it is separable, then it becomes external. Right? It's not separable from the mind. Are they inseparable from the mind? No, it's not inseparable. Why not? Because you have already rejected this before. Right? Say Anchilmatra, and you rejected earlier that these are not inseparable. Inseparability, that I accepted, you rejected that. So, inseparability, rejected. Now separable, they say no. If I accept separable, then what happens? My whole philosophy shakes. So therefore I say that the object and the self-mind, these two are not separable, they are not inseparable also. So what is this now? What is the object now? It's inexpressible. You're getting it? Okay, this is not the real philosophy. They are pushed to accept it through the Prasangika's reasoning. So they accept, but don't forget it, many philosophers, they accept what is known as inexpressible self. Inexpressible self. You're getting it? Okay. Okay. No. So this is, okay. So for the time being, what we do is that, okay, the ideas that come to your mind, keep them, study them, see whether they correlate, try to correlate the two, see if they mean the same, not same, right? So this is what to explore. First we have to study, right? Okay, let's see. Suppose the illusion of the external object. What do we see as object? Okay, what is this? Flower. Is this mind? There's no mind, it's object. And what's the subject? The mind we see the object, right? So from your Chittamatra point of view, this is like a reflection in the mirror. The mind is like a mirror. So these two things, now what's the relation between the two? The first one says, illusion of an external object. What we see is external, illusion of object is not separate from the mind. It's not separate from the mind because this is your philosophy. It's not separate from the mind. Now if they are not separate, are they inseparable? Then they say, not. The real philosophy says yes. But now they are saying no because Prasangika already rejected them before, all the earlier reasonings. Number two, nor is it conceptualized as inseparable. So what is that? This object known as inexpressible object, which cannot be expressed as separable, nor can be expressed as inseparable. So therefore it is inexpressible object. Okay. Line. Well, if it were truly a system function thing, how could it not be different from the mind? This object, the flower, does it truly exist? Hey, the mind truly exists. The flower truly exists? Not.
No.
No. Anyone else? Chittamatra, the flower truly exists or not? Truly exists.
The mind truly exists.
The mind truly exists. The flower?
The flower is illusion.
Flower exists truly or not?
No.
No. What kind of Chittamatra is that? I don't know. Huh?
It's a
It's a
nature
nature of mind.
Yes.
I did not ask that. I asked whether the flower exists truly.
Yes.
Yes.
Other power,
So the moment I'm doing strong, you say yes. If I'm doing loose, you say no.
Mind is flower is external, sir.
My question is,
The mind is truly.
listen, the mind doesn't exist truly? Yes. The flower, does it exist externally? No. The flower, does it exist truly?
Yes.
Yes. No.
other power phenomena exist truly.
Very good. Thank you. Okay.
What did she say?
Okay. Good. Very good. What Dr. said, this is the answer. Okay. For this, right, which means that Dr. Anidaji is a part of Nalanda Master's course. This is what she's proving. Right? Okay, Nalanda Master's course people, they should know this. Okay, the point is for Chittamatra, let's say everything that can come in your mind, whether existent or non-existent, anything that can think of, should fall into, can be classified into three groups. Three groups. Okay, people who are in this hall can be grouped into two. Grouped into two, right? Okay, let's say 40, below 40 and 40 or plus. Do you agree with me or not? Yes. Everyone in this universe can be, everyone, all human beings in this universe can be grouped into two. 40, below 40 and 40 and plus. Do you agree with me or not? Do you agree? Likewise, anything that exists that you can think of, not necessarily existent, but existent, non-existent, anything that you can think of can be grouped into three categories. Only three. There's no fourth choice. What are the three categories? One, imputed nature, other powered nature, and thoroughly established nature. Imputed nature, other powered nature, and thoroughly established nature. Right? Okay. What do you mean by imputed nature, thoroughly established nature, other powered nature? Don't forget it. Okay. Before I explain each one of them, please tell me, what are the three natures? What are the three natures on the basis of which everything that you can think of in your mind can be classified into? What are the three natures? Imputed nature, other powered nature, thoroughly established nature. Three. You getting it? Okay. In my right hand, I'll give these three things. I'll give these three things. On my left hand, I will do a different classification. Right? Then we will see how the two things be correlated. Okay, let's say anything that comes to your mind. Okay, just tell me anything that comes to your mind, whether existent, non-existent, doesn't matter. Give some example. Each one of us will give one example very quickly. There's from the SPC. Tell me what example. Give me anything. Lotus flower. Huh? No event in the room. Oh, no elephant in the room. Very good.
His Holiness photograph.
His Holiness's photograph. Very quick.
Flower in your hand.
Huh?
Flower in your hand.
Flower in my hand. Very good. Sharon. Very quick. Very quick. Give me anything. Anything that comes to your mind, whether it exists or not, it's very good. Very quick.
The table.
A table. The oven. Very quick. Any example? Okay, yes, you think. My Buddha photograph. Shall we ready?
Raining outside.
Raining outside. Oven.
People in this room.
Huh?
People in this room.
People in the room. Commissioner?
The wind.
Huh?
The wind.
No wind. No wind. Oh, wind blowing. Very good. Okay, Ronaldo.
A horse with horn.
Horse with horn. Okay, Ondila. Mobile phone. Shweta.
An apple.
Robin. Huh? Tube light. Okay, Rami.
The light.
Okay, the Alindaji.
Dog.
Huh?
Dog.
Dog.
The Buddha.
Ajahn Buddha. Rhoda.
Space.
Space. Jesse.
Mind.
Self.
Illusion.
Illusion. Not composite space. You finished, right? Okay. Shantideva, you said it. Okay, we're done. Okay. Everything that exists in this universe, anything that comes to your mind, not necessarily existent, anything that comes to mind, right? We can just follow me. You agree with me or not? All that can possibly come to your mind can be divided into two. Don't mix what I'm doing now with the three natures. Right? Three natures separate. I'm now taking you to a different direction. Anything that comes to you, mind can be divided into two. Existence and non-existence. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
You cannot think of anything else. You cannot think of anything which doesn't fall under these two categories. You agree with me? Good. Existence and non-existence. Now what we do is that we keep in mind what cannot be divided further, right? Those things we will keep in mind. Then I'll ask you, what are those things? What can we do? What are not going to divide further? We will keep them in mind. Existence and non-existence. Non-existence I'm not going to divide. Existence I'm going to divide further. Anything that exists should be either permanent or impermanent. You agree with me or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, impermanent I'm not going to divide any further. Permanent I'm going to divide into two. Permanent. Ultimate reality and permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Okay, now I'm not going to divide any further. Okay, tell me, how many things are there which are not divided?
4.
What are they? What are they? Non-existence, impermanent phenomena, ultimate reality. Okay, the permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality 4, right? There are 4 now. On the left hand, 4, on the right hand, 3. So these two things, these two sets should not be contradictory to each other, because the main heading is anything that comes to your mind. Should be classified with 3 natures or should be classified with these 4 divisions. You getting it? Okay. Now if this is true, then these 4 things should go into the 3. What are the 3? Impure nature, other power of nature, thoroughly established nature. Okay, very good. Okay. Now from the 4, I will pick up the impermanent nature first. Right? Impermanent things. Impermanent things will go into the other power of nature. Of the 3 natures, impermanent from the set of 4 will go into the other power of nature in the set of 3. Other power of nature and impermanent, these two are synonymous.
What is other power of nature?
Okay, I will explain. Other power of nature means anything which comes into being by the power of other causes. Anything which comes into being by the power of other causes. Other power of nature. So other power of nature and impermanence, these two are synonymous. So impermanence gone in the other power. What is left now in the set of the 4? From the set of 4, what is left? What is left? Permanence left. But no, not permanent. Permanent is not. We have of the 4, there is no permanent.
Non-existence.
Non-existence left. Ultimate reality is left.
Other phenomena.
Permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality, right? These 3 are left. Okay, now from the 3, I will pick up the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality from the set of 4 is synonymous with the thoroughly established in the set of 3. Right? You're getting it? Other powered? No. Ultimate reality in the set of 4 is synonymous with thoroughly established nature in the set of 3. Right? These two are synonymous. So other powered? No. The ultimate reality will go into the thoroughly established nature. Now, how many things are left in this from the set of 4? 2 are left. What are they? Non-existence and other, the permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. These 2 things are left. These 2 things will go into the impure nature. You may be wondering, what is the impure nature? Right? Impure, okay, what is impure nature? This one thing. Then before that, let's go the other power of nature. No, thoroughly established. Thoroughly established meaning something which ultimately exists, something which thoroughly exists. Thoroughly established, referring to ultimate reality. Right? Then the other one is impure nature. Any, except for the ultimate reality, all other permanent phenomena, they come into existence not by the substance, they come into existence by the mind. These two are known as mentally impure nature. Impure nature meaning something which comes into being by the power of your imputation, mental imputation. Impure nature. 3. Right? Okay, now tell me, what are the 3 natures? What are the 3 natures? Impure nature, other power of nature, thoroughly established nature. What comes under the first one? What is the first nature? Impure nature. What comes under impure nature? 2 things. Non-existence and permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Good. What comes under what is the second one? Other power nature. What comes under other power nature? Impermanent phenomena. All impermanent phenomena fall under this category, other power nature. What is the third one? What is the third nature? Thoroughly established nature. What falls under this category? All ultimate realities. All ultimate realities fall under this category. Very good. Now, of the three natures, keep this in mind. Why I'm going to detail in this? Of the three natures, what exists truly? This question. What exists truly is except. Okay, what exists truly is except for the first one. The remaining two exist. No. Yes, except for the first one, the remaining two exist truly. What's the first one? Impure in nature does not exist truly. The remaining two exist truly. What is the remaining two? Overpowered and thoroughly established. Ultimate reality, thoroughly established, it exists truly, and the other-powered nature exists truly. What comes out of other-powered nature? All impermanent phenomena. All impermanent phenomena exist truly. The flower, is this impermanent phenomenon or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So the flower exists truly. Not only the mind. Mind exists truly, flower also exists truly. Flower doesn't exist externally. You getting it? Okay.
Could you please repeat that now?
Which one?
Just now what you said.
Okay, the flower. Okay, the flower, because it is other power of nature, and what we learn is other power of nature exists truly. All other power of nature exists truly. What do you mean by other power of nature? All impermanent phenomena. Anything which is impermanent phenomena should be truly existent. The flower is impermanent nature, it's other power of nature. So therefore the flower exists truly. Not only the mind seeing the flower exists truly, the flower also exists truly. But the flower doesn't exist externally. The flower exists as truly like a reflection in the mirror, reflection of the mind. But it exists truly. Don't forget it, right? Okay.
So there is no Chitamatra.
This is still according to Chitamatra, yes. Okay, we'll stop here. Two illustrations.